Okay, we're going. Um, Today's session is pretty simple. Is all we're going to do is kind of go over your homework. Um, we're going to talk about the operational plans that you developed. I see there's a bunch of them in the training group, which is great. It looks like a lot of you kind of had some fun with them too, which is even better. But the idea here is to just understand the planning model here, build some. Under the group, you built a service. Under that, a goal, at least a goal, an objective, and some activities in there. And hang on a second, let me get rid of this since I am now recording. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out under the training group. And I kind of like to ask for volunteers who built these plans into there and who would like to kind of go through and review your plan. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Sorry. Unmuted. So we can do mine, but it was.
Is this yours, Shelby?
Yep, that was mine.
Okay, let's go ahead and go through that. What I'm going to do to start with is I'm just going to generate the operational plan report for this particular service down here so that we can see the whole thing kind of on one screen. And let me go down to the activity level here. Okay, first of all, one of the things that little known fact, I guess, is that if activities don't have end dates on them, they don't show up. So let's go, yeah, so I kind of figured that. I'm just going to go ahead and put an end date on these just so they'll show up on the report. So I'll just put in, let's put in the end of the month here and a beginning date of the first of the month. Save that and go down to the next one, do the same thing. Okay, now let's go back here to the service and generate the report. So just an FYI, if you're putting in activities and you don't have at least an end date in there, you won't show up on the report. If you don't have a beginning and ending date, it can't calculate your percent complete. So ideally, you want to have both of them in there. So let's go ahead and look at the operational plan report again here. And I'm going to go to the activity level up here at the top right. There we go. Great. Okay. So let's take a look. Complete my nursery for a baby due in April. Awesome. Congratulations. I actually have a granddaughter due April 27th as well. So get the nursery finished before April 1st. Get my basement finished so I can move my kids to their new rooms and I can get the nursery started. The only thing I would suggest at the objective level is to have a time frame in there. So you're going to say get your basement finished by a certain date so that you can move the kids in there. And then your activities, hire the contractors to finish the basement, get all the nursery items gathered to put away. Again, beginning and ending dates. So when are you planning on doing that? And then a performance metric. So let me kind of go down into the plan here a little bit here. The performance metric in here would say, okay, hire contractors to finish the basement. I would probably do something like contractors selected and hired would be my performance metric in there. So at that point in time, I know what's going to happen. And then get the nursery items gathered to be put into the nursery. Items gathered. So that then kind of completes. And the idea of the performance metric is if somebody else is reading this activity, they want to know, how will I know when this activity is completed? Now, things like this are pretty simple to do, but you're just going to define it in there. Then when we go back to the report, you'll see that we have the performance metric already. Oops, sorry. I went a level too high here. Yeah, there we go. So now we have the performance metric, the contractor selected and hired between 3/1 and 3/31, and then items gathered between 3/1, 3/31. So that kind of completes out the activities here. And again, the only other thing is at the objective level, You've got it very specific. However, you don't have a time frame in there to understand when you're going to be doing that. Does that all make sense, Shelby?
Yes, all sounds good, thank you.
Any questions you had going through this? Anything else you'd like to dig into?
No, I don't think so. The date was a good catch, because I don't know if many of us did that, so thank you.
Okay. Well, we can dig into that. That's simple. Okay. Who's next? Who's ELS?
That is me. You can do mine.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let me kind of march down here first and see if we have activities. Okay, we don't have end dates again on the activities, so let's go ahead and just put those in there so we can bring them up on the report. End date. I'm just kind of picking random dates here, so then write the MOU. And a lot of times these dates would be sequential because you're going to complete activity 1, which is kind of required to do activity 2 or something along that line. So you might have, the next month in there as far as your dates go. The other thing is your performance metric again would be CPS emailed, and then MOU. My typing is not good this early in the morning. And there we go. Okay, now let's go back and look at the plan again. So up to the operational plan report and take it down to the activity level again here. Okay, so complete the HFA Child Welfare Program, ELS. Lots of acronyms. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure everybody else does. Complete the MOU with Child Welfare, ELS. And you have that as marked as red. Was there a reason you marked that as red and the things below it are yellow and green?
Nope. I am not sure what I was doing there.
You were just playing with the traffic lights, weren't you? So typically what happens is, for instance, you have the activities marked as green. If those activities are on track, that means the objective is probably on track. So it'll probably be green as well. But there's, we kind of leave that up to you because of the fact that there's so many variables at the objective or at the activity level. For instance, you might have one activity that's worth 99% and one that's worth 1%. And if that 1% is yellow or red, it may not really affect the outcome. So you might still keep the objective at a higher level, something like that. So that's why we kind of look at it and say, you're going to be the determining factor in here based on what you see at your activities, how far along you are. And then in fact, do they really affect the objective? Or in this case, would the objective be green, meaning that the goal would probably be green as well. So just kind of, again, it's kind of a mental thing you got to go through as you're looking at it. And the indications are you want people to be able to look at this and understand that, either we're on track. If I were to look at this and see we had a red light, I would say something bad happened here. None of this stuff is getting done, or whoever's supposed to be doing this has left or something along that line. So hence the reason for the different colors of traffic lights. So, but the structure of your plan here is beautiful. Everything looks great. Complete the child welfare program, complete the MOU. You buy 315. That's awesome. So you've got a date in there, contact CPS leads, and then you've got a couple of good activities in there. So yeah, this is exactly the way the plan should be structured. But again, the only thing is making sure the traffic lights kind of match up, because you're going to be grading this, on the dashboard and that sort of thing by the traffic lights. So just got to make sure that they match up. Any questions or anything that came up that was concerning?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great job. And by the way, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to actually build out these plans in here. You don't know how many times I go into these sessions with people, and I got 20 people on here, and 2 of them have completed the plans, and the rest of them, didn't have time to do it. So I do really appreciate you doing this. So we go through, and I hope everybody kind of learns a little bit from it here. I was very interested in this one, planning a trip to Arizona, because I happen to be in Arizona. So whose is this one?
That's me.
Okay.
Maybe.
Do you mind if we walk through it?
Go ahead.
Where are you going in Arizona?
Mesa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just we're in an area called Ahwatukee, which is on the kind of the west side of the main freeway I-10. It comes in here, and then Mesa is out on the other side, about 10 miles. So you won't be too far from us down there. Okay, let's see. Plan a trip to Arizona. Get to Arizona before May for 10 days. I like it. Yeah, May's about, by the way, is about as late as you want to go to Arizona because it's starting to get hot at that point in time. So just a warning. Determine what dates I want to travel and what airport and airline I want to use. That's good. Okay. And then a project, set up the meeting with people going to Arizona to discuss dates. And then once dates are picked, book a flight. The thing a couple things I would suggest is, first of all, you're going to probably make yourself as the objective lead in here. So you're going to put your name in as the objective lead. I notice you already have activity teams. For me, this activity would actually be two different activities. The first thing is to set up the meeting first. And then after you have the meeting, the next activity would be to pick pick book flights and hotels. And those might even be separate activities, unless it's a simple process that you're going to do. So if we go on down here to the objective level, again, the objective lead, go ahead and select you in there and save that. So now you're the objective lead, so you're kind of in charge of the process here. And we get down to the activity level here. Again, what I would think is this might be two activities. And there's a simple way, by the way, to do that. So you've got all the information in here that you need. I just want to kind of make a copy of this. So what I'm going to do is hit this little copy button, the 2 pages here. And then I'm going to go ahead. Okay. Hang on one second here. I think my internet connection may have just burped. Okay, I'm thinking we're back. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I think I just went away for a second. Looks like I might have to reopen the system here. It's sitting here spinning on me. I think my internet connection just went out for a second here. Okay, hold on a second. Let me go back into here again. Okay, looks like everything's back okay. I don't know what happened, but you guys were gone for a minute there. Okay, back to where we were here. Okay, our trip to Arizona, we're going to migrate down through here. So we got you set up as the objective lead. Down at the activity level, we've got the kind of the two activities mixed into one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit the copy button here, and this little button next to it, the A, is the paste button. So then I'm just going to go ahead and paste that copy in there, and I'm going to go ahead and just say copy the traffic light as leaving as green. So now you notice it put in a second version here. So I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to take out the first part of this activity. So I'll save that. And then I'm going to go to the first activity and take out the second half of it here. And save that. Yeah, so now what I did is basically just broke it down into two separate activities. You've got the beginning and ending dates in there. You could potentially change the dates. So you can have the meeting, obviously, before you pick the date. So these dates may change a little bit. The same people involved is great. And everything else looks great. So let's go back now and look at the plan again. Okay, the other thing is at the objective level, you want to have a target as to when you plan on doing that. So if you're looking at the dates down here, so you got 5/1/24 kind of as your end date. So you might want to say by, I don't know what it would be, 4/15/24, you're going to determine what dates I want to travel or whatever that happens to be, so that your objective has a date range in there. Does that all make sense to you, splitting the activities down and getting your date range in the objective? Any questions on what I just went through or anything that as you were putting it in there?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Great job, by the way. This is exactly how the plan should be structured. Just think about the activities as being a sequence of steps that you're going to go through to get to your objective. So whatever you're trying to accomplish in your objective, you're going to have a set of activities that will get you there. That's the big one right there. Okay. Next one, SR, get my stairwell project functional and safe. I like the safe part. Okay. By the end of the week. Who's that?
That's me.
Okay, let's go ahead and, well, first of all, let's go down and see if we have dates in our activities here. Nope, we don't. So let's go ahead and just put in the dates again. Yeah, this is kind of a little known fact. It's buried into the documentation somewhere, but if you don't have an ending date, what it's trying to do is determine that I want to have a report that's between date 1 and date 2. And if there's no date in there, it's all going to fall outside of that date range. So that's why it doesn't show up. Okay, now let's go back up here and generate the report. Okay, let's see. Get my stairwell project functional and safe by the end of next week. Goal 1, have Mason come back with a game plan and supplies to cover existing wood on the stairs. We kind of copied that into the notes field here. Stairs are completed, objective. Stairs are completed to the point where there's no potential lead paint is visible. Again, at the objective level, you want to put a time frame in there. So you're going to say by a specific, in this case, you would just say by the end of the week, probably at the objective level, because you already have that up in here. And potentially, the initiative doesn't have to be this complete. It can be, that's fine. But you might just want to say, get or a stairwell project or something along that line. Or get my stairwell functional and safe, and then start digging down a little bit into the dates as you get down there. And then our activity is Mason will come over Monday night. Supplies will be purchased in advance. Either speaking with Jeff on Saturday. Sarah will assess the stairs, order materials to cover stairs. 2 handrails will be purchased. Again, what you might consider on this particular one is breaking this activity down into multiple activities. It looks like there's several steps that are going to happen in there. So you might want to think about, which one is going to happen first, then second, then third, and potentially, I know it's in a very short time frame, so the dates probably don't make a whole lot of difference at that point in time, but you could, in fact, put in, today and tomorrow, and then tomorrow and the next day, and that sort of thing as dates in there. Just from a perspective of the plan, not, in your particular project here. Does any of that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense.
Okay. Any questions or anything else you'd like to dig into on this?
I think I'm good. I think you said what I was thinking, looking back at it a week later.
Yeah, see, the other thing on this, I just noticed you didn't have a performance metric in there at the activity level. So with all of these different things in there, you'd have to have a big, long performance metric that said A, B, C, and D are done. Whereas if you had individual activities, you could say, Mason will come over Monday night. So then you just have that as an activity. Mason appears Monday night or whatever it is. Supplies will be purchased in advance after speaking with Jeff on Saturday. So that would be a second activity. And then the supplies being purchased would be the performance metric, something along that line. So again, nice job. The structure of the plan is very, very good. Okay, I like this one. Okay, we're going to plan Jackson's graduation party. Who's that?
That's Danielle, and she's the one that is actually out today.
Okay, well, let's just kind of take a look down through her plan, and we can kind of review it. Since we're recording all this, you can go back and, okay, again, I'm going to put the dates in here, just so it'll show up. Save that. Okay. reserve the reception space, order the party supplies, okay, this is definitely, and she's even got them numbered in here. So this would definitely be multiple different activities in here. Let's go back now and look at the plan on the report level here. Okay, so we're going to plan Jackson's graduation party, plan and execute a successful party. I like it. Host a party on May 5th. That's good. That's very short and concise, but it has everything in it that you need. And then again, the activity should probably be broken down into reserve the reception space, order party supplies, order invitations, mail invitations, decorate and set up the party. Now, the steps that you have defined in there are perfect. I mean, these are the steps you're going to go through to get to that particular objective of hosting the party on May 5th. So what you'd want to do is have the first one, of reserving the space, and then have when you're going to have that accomplished, and then order party supplies. You could probably do it at the same time you're reserving, so the dates might overlap. And then the performance metric for the first one would be the space has been reserved, or whatever happens to be in there. Party supplies have been ordered. Invitations have been ordered. Invitations have been mailed. Decorations set up and everything else. And I like the last one. Enjoy. I think that's good. Everybody enjoyed the party. So, yeah, the structure is good. Again, just breaking the activities down, putting performance metrics and dates in there on all the activities, and the plan works out great. And let's see, we have, one more down here. Immunization rates. Who's that?
That's mine.
I'm sorry, it's
Amanda.
okay. Let's go walk down through this one. Increase immunization rates. Okay, objective, increase immunization rates of required school early vaccines to 95% up to date, start in the fall. That's very nice. Got Amanda tied to it here. Activities, host school-based vaccine clinics. This is a quantitative measurement activity, so 10 of them between. That's great. Why is the light on red on this one?
Because we have,
I'm sorry, you were cut off.
because we haven't done any of the clinics yet.
Okay. What you have in here is performing 10 of these clinics between 3/1/24 and 5/31. So you really kind of just started the program a couple of days ago. So probably, you may still be on target because you're waiting till the end of, till 5/31 to have it completed. So marking it red at this point in time, unless you have some other piece of information that says we don't have the resources to do this, something along that line, and then you might want to put a note down in here as to why you marked it as red. Because right now, to me, it looks like, we just started this and we have until January, February, March, April, May, till the end of May to get it completed. So that would just be my take on it at that point in time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, and then send recalls to those students due for required school vaccination, sent notices, project-based activity, time frame in there, everything's good. The other thing you might want to think about doing here is adding the activity leads and activity team members into here. You've got the dates in there, that's great. Let's go back again and look at it at the high level here. I missed the button, that's why. Okay. Just FYI, the structure of the plan is beautiful. You've got everything in there at the right levels. You got a very nice, smart objective in there. The activities seem very good to roll up to the objective in there. Again, just maybe a little bit more clarification on, And by the way, if you put a red light out there and you have a good reason for it, please put it in the notes field so anybody else looking at that will. The same question I just had. You know, it looks like you're not even hardly started with this program yet. You marked it as red. What's the rationale behind it? So me as a third party looking at that wouldn't understand that. But if you put a note in there that says we don't have anybody to do this or whatever it happens to be, then it's a good idea to mark that as red. Questions, comments?
No, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, I think that's everything that I see on here. Are there any other plans that anybody put elsewhere in the system? Or
I don't think so.
okay, well, I tell you what, I just want to thank you guys because so often do I not get to go through this many plans with people and get everybody on board and actually walk through and do this. So I do appreciate you guys taking the time to do that. Our next training that we'll be scheduling here, if we haven't already, Andrea does all that, will be the performance monitoring. So we're going to be talking about all the charts and the graphs, the reports, generating a VMSG public web page, that sort of thing. So we'll get that scheduled and get you guys through that one. And you're getting to the point where you're pretty much ready to rock and roll with the system. So as you're going through this, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need any help.
Perfect. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay, everybody. Well, thank you so much for your time. And again, great job, everybody.
Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Thanks. Bye-bye. You too.